really feel if you give encouragement, you get encouragement back. Because once they feel you're interested in them and encouraging them, then they're interested in doing their best.
That's our role out here, really. We manage the environment, including the emotional side of it. We do. We set the tone for the job.
You know, I think we all hear the stories of, you know, why should you cheer on a football team when a guy makes a great catch? Well, he's paid millions of dollars to make those great catches. Well, yeah, but how does he feel if he just makes a catch and runs in and it's business as usual? I mean, it's not what human beings are about. We need praise. We need somebody to say, great job. We need that for our own self-esteem, and it feeds on self. The better you feel about yourself, the better you'll do as a human being, as a worker, as a father, as a husband, whatever. So that encouragement is almost multiplying when you give it.
I was lucky. I worked for 2 or 3 real good superintendents. And that's probably where I got it started from. Because instead of saying, how come you only did 5 feet today, you could have done 25 feet, they would say, hey, that's okay, we'll get it better tomorrow. We'll figure out how we could get 25 feet tomorrow. You know, that was encouragement to me, that they weren't disappointed in the 5 that I got. They were willing to help me get to 25 the next day, or get me up to the 25 instead of just yelling at me and saying, you're no good. And I think that's the way we need to be now, to bring the people up to where we want them at. And I think the only way you can do that is through the heart.
It was a road building crew, and I was the foreman who became the superintendent on the job. And we had 22 miles of road, and we had this special sub-base mix that was terrible. Indiana doesn't even use it anymore. But we couldn't get compaction on it, so we put this, about the last 2 miles of this stuff down, and we could not get it to pass compaction test. And I was almost in tears. You know, here I am, I'm in my 20s, this is my first big job, and I was looking back at where we started, and I was just thinking, oh, what am I going to do now? I mean, am I going to tear all this out? Can I sweet talk the engineer to, you know, letting us try something different? I don't know. This big old foreman walked up to me, and he grabbed me around the shoulders. He's about, well, I was 24 or 25, and he was probably 50 or 60, and big burly guy, and he just spins me around, and he points me 180 degrees the other way, and he said, you were looking the wrong way. He said, never look back, look ahead. And, you know, I went home thinking about that all night, and came back the next morning and met with the engineer, and we worked out a way to get that stuff to pass where I wouldn't have to tear it all out, and, you know, life was good. But if he hadn't done that, I'd have gone home and I'd have been devastated, and probably wouldn't have put my thinking cap on. I'd just shut down. But he gave me that little, you know, that little bit of encouragement. Didn't solve the problem, but it sure made me think about it. Started the wheels turning.
Wow, 1993, I think it was. I just lost a job, Northern Indiana. I'd been replaced by our general superintendent. Didn't even know if I was going to have a job the next morning. Didn't go well. A lot of important people I knew that year died. It was a bad year for me personally. And they sent me to the Indianapolis Airport project. Bob Fee, at that point, was in charge of running, and he helped me a lot on that job to recover from that failure and move on. And you all know Bob, and you know, if you've worked on a job with him, he makes it interesting. He makes it fun, and he encourages people and allows people to do well. And I really needed that at that point in my career, and he provided that. I think he still does.
Probably the toughest job I ever did was at Champaign, the underground chill water system. And when it's all said and done, Jed made one remark to me in the conference room. He said, Bill, I'm glad you never quit the job, because I don't think we'd have got it finished if you'd quit.
I saw Bob Bowen go into a ditch down in Kentucky, pretty rough ditch, and he bailed right off in it in a pair of loafers, went down there and shook everybody's hand and met them. And those guys, I guarantee you, never forget that. I never forget it. 35-year hand said, first owner of a company he'd ever met. Yeah. First owner of a company he had ever met. And Bob bailed off in the ditch and had mud on his shoes. You know, kind of high-fived them all and shook their hands. And that's, they remember that and they appreciate that.
When you sit down and think, we poured 50,000 yards of concrete. We've done 250,000 yards of dirt. We poured in rain, snow, sleet. Never one day did Bowen Engineering needed to go to work, did they not go out, get in their trucks and go to work. We couldn't have done it without them. Every one of them had a very important part of it. And I was pretty proud of them. It just really gets to thinking, why do they even do it? But a lot of them did it for more than just a paycheck. And I think that's where encouragement from the heart pays off.
As long as you treat people like that, treat them like they're great contributors and give them encouragement and direction. And I think everybody goes home at night feeling good about themselves. They get up the next morning wanting to go to work. You know, again, it kind of feeds on itself. People know if they come to work and get encouragement and direction, they're going to want to get to work.
I went and told all my crew at our morning safety meeting how the compliment they got from Black and Beach and Dayton Power and Light, that we were one of the companies that got the job back on schedule, and half of them give credit to Bowen Engineering because they said, you guys were the first company that's ever cared about us. You're the first company that would listen to us and help us. You're the first company that ever fed us. You know, you're the first company that made us feel like we were part of the team. So again, I got another encouragement back from the guys. So I really think if you honestly give encouragement to people, they step up and they'll honestly be encouraged back to you. You'll get it. It's a two-way street.
I had a lot of people encourage me. And we didn't call it that then or have a program for it. But some people naturally, Gina, have that spirit. Mm-hmm. You know, they do. They naturally have that spirit. And that's the people that time and time again do well. You know, they have that servant leadership in it. You know, they don't have to be number one. They can be number 10 if the other 9 have everything they need. Yeah, be quite content to be that other 10. Yeah, and that's what we do. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing here. You know, encouraging them. You know, empowerment, inclusion, and encouragement. And there's lots of ways to do that with people. You know, you can't. The days of browbeating them are gone. You can't force them to work. You can't. You know, and there's 5% that won't. Get rid of those guys and encourage the other 95 to do the right thing, and 90% of those will. You know, every day, make it a fun place to be. Get them what they need, when they need it, and set the expectations, and most of them will meet it. They really will. Everybody
has somebody that they look up to, and if you can find somebody like that, you can really get your encouragement from somebody. It may be, to some of the foremen, it may be me. To some of the project engineers, it may be a project manager. To some of the laborers, it just may be their labor foreman or an operator. But everybody could give some kind of encouragement to somebody. And then when you do, you'll learn, I think, that the encouragement comes back to you.